There's a kind of faith that sits still. And there's a kind of faith that gets up early, rolls up its sleeves, speaks truth when silence would be easier, and chooses courage when fear would be more comfortable. Today, we are talking about faith in action, not faith as a feeling, not faith as a slogan, not faith as something we only speak about in church or in quiet moments, but faith as movement. Because the truth is this: the world we hope for will never appear by accident. It must be built. It must be protected. It must be cultivated. And it must be created by people who believe deeply enough to act boldly. Hope is not just wishing for a better tomorrow. Hope is partnering with tomorrow before it arrives. And faith is the force that makes that possible. Faith sees what is not yet visible. Faith has always had the power to see beyond present conditions. Faith sees freedom while chains still exist. Faith sees peace while conflict still rages. Faith sees healing while wounds are still open. Faith sees unity while division still fills the land. Faith does not deny reality. Faith challenges reality to become something higher. Some people only see what is, but people of faith also see what can be. That is why every great movement in history began first in the unseen. Before there was reform, someone believed change was possible. Before there was justice, someone imagined fairness. Before there was healing, someone refused to surrender to brokenness. Before there was liberty, someone carried a vision of freedom in their heart before the world ever recognized it. That is what faith does. Faith says, this is not the end. This is not all we are. This can be redeemed. This can be rebuilt. This can be made whole. Faith is not blindness. Faith is vision. And if we are ever going to create a better world, we must first become people who can see it before others do. 2. Hope is not passive. Hope is constructive. Too many people think hope is soft. But real hope is not weak. Real hope is not naive. Real hope is not pretending everything is fine when it is not. Real hope is a decision to build anyway. Hope plants trees it may never sit under. Hope teaches children it may never see grow old. Hope speaks truth into a generation that may resist hearing it. Hope repairs foundations when it would be easier to walk away. Hope is not denial. Hope is construction. If you want to know what hope looks like, it looks like a parent raising children with integrity in a confused world, a neighbor helping a neighbor, a veteran still believing sacrifice means something, a teacher refusing to give up on students, a church choosing courage over comfort, a citizen standing for truth, liberty, and responsibility. That is hope in action. And here is the truth many people forget. Every decent world that has ever existed was created by people who refused to stop hoping while they were still working. The future is not made by cynics. The future is made by builders. And faith turns believers into builders. We become responsible for the world we help create. One of the hardest truths to accept is this: we may not control everything, but we do influence what comes next. We help shape the moral atmosphere of our homes. We help shape the spirit of our communities. We help shape the values of the next generation. We help shape whether truth stands or falls in our time. Every generation inherits a world, but every generation also leaves one behind. So the question is not only, what kind of world do we live in? The deeper question is, what kind of world are we helping create? Are we creating a world of fear or courage? A world of selfishness or sacrifice? A world of bitterness or dignity? A world of dependency or responsibility? A world of chaos or moral clarity? Faith is not only about surviving the times. Faith is also about stewarding the times. And stewardship means we stop waiting for someone else to fix what we are called to build. That means if we want stronger families, we must model strength. If we want honest communities, we must live honestly. If we want a freer nation, we must be responsible people. If we want a more hopeful world, we must become hopeful creators. Because whether we realize it or not, we are always building something. The only question is whether we are building intentionally. Small acts of faith create large legacies. Sometimes people hear a sermon like this and think, but I'm just one person. What can I really do? A great deal. Because history is rarely changed only by massive moments. It is changed by small acts repeated with conviction. A word of truth, a stand for principle, a daily discipline, a refusal to compromise, a decision to serve, a commitment to raise children with character, a willingness to forgive, a courage to begin again. These things may seem small in the moment, but seeds always look small before harvest comes. Never underestimate what God, purpose, conviction, and perseverance can do through one faithful life. A home can be changed by one faithful person. A community can be changed by one faithful family. A generation can be changed by enough people deciding they will not surrender what is right. Faith in action does not require celebrity. It requires consistency. And some of the most powerful things you will ever do may never trend, never make headlines, never get applause, but they will still matter eternally. Because quiet faithfulness is often how lasting change begins. Courage is the price of hope. If we're going to create a better world, then we must accept something difficult. Hope will cost us courage. It takes courage to believe in goodness when corruption seems louder. It takes courage to believe in truth when lies are easier. It takes courage to believe in family, faith, responsibility, and moral clarity in an age that mocks conviction. It takes courage to stand when others kneel to pressure. It takes courage to build when others destroy. It takes courage to stay rooted when everything around you is drifting. And courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in alignment with what you believe, even while fear is present. That is faith in action. Faith says, I will keep building. I will keep believing. I will keep serving. I will keep standing. I will keep sowing what is good. I will not let darkness dictate my duty. This is how hope survives. Not by accident, but by courageous people who keep showing up. The world changes when people refuse to live powerlessly. One of the enemy's greatest lies, spiritually, socially, and culturally, is this. There's nothing you can do, but that is a lie designed to produce paralysis. You may not be able to do everything, but you're never called to do nothing. You can lead your home. You can strengthen your mind. You can tell the truth. You can serve your community. You can defend what is good. You can pray. You can teach. You can encourage. You can build. You can plant. You can restore. You can influence. And when enough people stop living like victims of the age and start living like stewards of the future, everything begins to shift. A culture changes when enough people reclaim responsibility. A nation changes when enough people recover moral courage. A generation changes when enough people decide to live awake. Faith is not powerless. Faith is one of the most powerful forces in human history because it moves people from resignation into responsibility. And responsibility is where renewal begins. We must become the evidence of what we believe. Hebrews says faith is the evidence of things not seen. That means our lives should become visible proof of invisible convictions. If we say we believe in hope, then we must become hopeful people. If we say we believe in truth, then we must live truthfully. If we say we believe in freedom, then we must live responsibly. If we say we believe in faith, then our actions must testify louder than our words. Because a broken world does not only need more opinions, it needs more evidence. Evidence that courage still exists. Evidence that integrity still matters. Evidence that families can still be strong. Evidence that people can still live with honor. Evidence that goodness is still worth fighting for. Evidence that hope is not dead. And perhaps the greatest witness you can give to this world is not merely what you say. It is what your life proves. Your life should preach. There is still light. There is still truth. There is still strength. There is still purpose. There is still hope. That is faith in action. The future belongs to those who build with conviction. The future will not be shaped only by the loudest voices. It will be shaped by the most committed builders, those who teach values, those who preserve truth, those who defend freedom, those who lead with moral clarity, those who refuse to surrender the sacred responsibilities of family, faith, and community. The future belongs to those who plant what they want their children to inherit. If we want a world with more honor, we must live honorably. If we want a world with more courage, we must become courageous. If we want a world with more faith, we must stop hiding ours. If we want a world with more hope, we must build it with our own hands. No one else is coming to create the future for us. We are creating it right now, with our values, with our choices, with our discipline, with our words, with our witness, with our faith in action. So today, let this truth settle deep in your spirit. Hope is not something we wait for. Hope is something we participate in. Faith is not merely believing that better days are possible. Faith is living in such a way that better days become more likely. Every prayer you pray, every truth you speak, every child you guide, every act of courage you take, every stand you make for what is right, every seed of goodness you sow, it all matters. You may not see all the fruit today, but do not mistake delayed harvest for wasted labor. The world we create tomorrow is being shaped by what we do today. So let us be people of faith, not only in word but in deed, not only in hope but in action, not only in belief but in building. And may our lives become a testimony that even in difficult times, hope still lives where faith still moves. Go build what you believe. Build truth. Build courage. Build freedom. Build strong homes. Build noble character. Build hopeful communities. Build a future worthy of those who come after you. And do it with faith, because the world does not only need more critics, it needs more creators of hope. Heavenly Father, give us a faith that moves beyond words and into action. Help us to become builders of hope, truth, courage, and goodness in this generation. Strengthen our hearts when the world feels heavy. Give us vision to see what can be, even when we are surrounded by what is. Teach us to live with conviction, to serve with purpose, and to act with boldness. May our homes, our communities, and our nation be strengthened by lives that refuse to surrender to fear or despair. Let our faith become visible in how we live, how we love, how we lead, and how we build. And may we leave behind a world that is better because we chose to act on what we believed. In faith, in hope, and in purpose. Amen.